Tisha, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, very good. Such a pleasure to be speaking with you today. I got to see the first episode of your series, Big Shot, and it's a lot of fun. It is a really, really good pilot. It's a really interesting show because you're really building a world in one episode. So I wanted to know, first of all, if someone hasn't seen the show before, how would you describe it to them?
It's a story about redemption and growth. It's about a college basketball coach who gets fired from his job and has to take a job teaching at an elite all-girls high school. And at first, he doesn't know what to do with it, and he doesn't really know how to connect to these girls. But through the whole season, you just see not just the coach, but the girls too, learning from each other and growing.
And what's cool is that in this first episode, we learn a little bit about your character, about Mouse, that certainly you're described as having a lot of hustle and going for it, trying very hard. What do you most enjoy about playing this character, and what are we going to be seeing about her?
I really like how she's just this girl who's going through high school. She's this normal girl who doesn't really know who she is yet, and she has to like find out throughout the whole season. And I think through the season she really comes into her own in a way. I don't really want to spoil it, but she really comes into her own.
Great. Now, I've seen that you have a lot of skills. You have a particular set of skills, and I believe that basketball is just one of them. So you came in knowing how to play ball, but I imagine that your game has probably improved additionally since you started the show.
Yeah. I actually didn't play a lot when I first started the show. I grew up with a dad who loved playing basketball, and he played in the Philippines in college, and he got a scholarship through it. So I grew up around the environment and having an appreciation of it. But it wasn't until I booked this show that I really got to learn about the game and how to play it. And yeah.
Okay. So in terms of basketball, for example, who's your favorite player?
I'm gonna have to say Kobe Bryant.
Tell me about working. Most of the girls who were cast, if not all, sort of had a bit of a basketball background. But what's interesting about the show is you're probably coming together as a team, and you're coming together in real life as well. So, what was that like? I saw you at your first table read, but what was this sort of bonding experience like, and what was it like to form your team?
We instantly bonded. We had this, I guess, an audition portion of it, where we had to play basketball together, and it really just felt like a team, like from the start, and it just grew from there. And even though we saw each other like every single day, oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous.
Don't be.
We did play basketball a little bit off screen. Every day we had off, we would train with this basketball coordinator. But outside, I saw cricket, and we live pretty close, so we would practice together sometimes. But we also had this party for Nell because she lives in New York, and it was her birthday, so we decided to go to the beach and bond a little bit and show her around LA a little bit.
Did you happen to know anybody beforehand? Did you do chemistry reads?
No, we actually all met at the chemistry read, but we bonded so instantly. So it felt like we knew each other our whole lives.
Do you think that maybe every girl sort of fits a role within the team on the show and in real life as well?
I think so. We're in a way pretty similar to our characters personality-wise. So I guess what you see on screen translates a little bit off screen. But right now we're just like we're like sisters at this point.
Mm. So in terms of your skills, that you seem like you have quite a lot. You can see your guitars into the background. I've seen you play before. You and John Stamos bonded over music. Is that right?
Yeah, our first conversation was actually about music. And I mentioned that I really liked listening to Joni Mitchell, America, Beach Boys, Jim Croce. I listened to that growing up because of my dad. And he got really excited because he's best friends with the guys from America. And I guess one of the best days on set for me was when he surprised me and he FaceTimed one of the band members, and we just sat there and we talked about music for a good amount of time.
Oh, that's amazing. Had you ever seen, prior to the show, had you seen John perform before?
I saw reruns of Full House, and obviously Uncle Jesse's like a big musician in that show. I saw clips of him playing with the Beach Boys, and that's, yeah.
What was it like to have him as a coach? Because all I hear is he's just so nice, so encouraging, but on screen he has to be a little, at least at the beginning, a little out of place at first. You're trying to sort of find that team chemistry. What was it like to have him play your coach?
It was really fun. He, as a person, he's just really welcoming and encouraging, and I learned a lot from him as an actor. So in a way, he was kind of a coach for me for the entertainment industry, because this is my first show and I've never done a series regular before. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he kind of took me under his wing, and along with other girls. Like on camera, he doesn't really know how to play basketball, but he's such a good actor that you don't even notice.
That's really interesting. That's a good tip as well. I didn't know that he couldn't play. So who among the cast would you say is sort of the most natural athlete, or the one that just takes to basketball the quickest?
Yeah, Tiana, because she is almost like a professional rower outside of acting. And even at the audition, she claims that she doesn't know how to play basketball, but I thought she was like a professional basketball player when I saw her at first.
What I really like about the show is that the scenes in which you're not playing, when you're acting, building your characters are a lot of fun. But then the basketball scenes too, the filming the action, those are really intense. I don't think I've seen basketball shown like that on screen before. What was it like to film that?
The days were very long, but it was also a lot of fun. It was almost like a choreographed dance in a way. The basketball coordinator would have the scenes mapped out, and we would shoot it like angle by angle. So we would have every single play. We would do every single play repeatedly for a good amount of time until we had it. Yeah.
So one of the things, it was actually interesting when we were disconnected just now, I was looking through on your Instagram. You have a whole section devoted to Big Shot, and you have a pic of you and Yvette Nicole Brown. We didn't get to see on the first episode if you had any scenes together, but I figure throughout the course of the series, hopefully you will. But she's someone who just really seems to get it. We'd interviewed her previously, and she's just such a cool, down-to-earth person. What did you enjoy most about having her be a part of the series?
She's honestly one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I don't think I've ever met anyone who meets someone and treats them like their best friend. And she's honestly like a mother figure to all of us. And I'm sad I only got to do one scene with her for this season. But that day working with her, she's just so easygoing and she's willing to play. And it was so easy to work with her. And if we get renewed for a second season, I really hope that we get more scenes together.
What would be on your playlist for this series?
It's a lot of it's a lot of America because I associate Big Shot to that band now because of John.
Mhm.
A lot of I'm really into indie folk and anything inspired by American folk. So there's a lot of Sarah Bareilles, Madison Cunningham. There's a lot of Big Thief. So that really pumps me up for the day.
What are some of your favorite songs to sing and to play?
I'm a really big fan of Adrienne Lenker. As of right now, she's an incredible guitar player and she's also an incredible songwriter. So learning from her through learning her songs has really inspired me.
Great. So without spoiling anything, what were some of your favorite moments of filming?
I mean, it's more of like a behind the scenes thing, but we were filming one of the basketball scenes and they just told us to play. And I guess someone just forgot to yell cut. So we ended up playing a 10-minute game and we were like exhausted through the end of it. And when someone finally remembered to yell cut, we were just like laughing about the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome. So what have been some of the shows that have really inspired you? I wanted to ask you too, do you like, I'm really looking forward to Space Jam on a similar theme. What have been some of the shows or movies that have really inspired you?
I'm a really big fan of This Is Us, and I think Mandy Moore and that entire cast in general is just incredible. And the writing is just so smart, and I'm really invested in the plot lines um, every single week.
Mm. Do you have a favorite character?
I really like I really like Randall, and that actor does an amazing job with him, and he has a really dynamic character arc.
Mm. So one thing that I know is that you're very excited, and I am too, about the diversity that's present on this show. That you see people of all types, and it's really integrated quite well. I don't think I've seen it like that before. Why is that so important to you?
Well, I think representation in media is just really powerful. And growing up, I could only think of one person who looked like me. Not even on camera; it was on a stage. It was Leia Salonga, and I want to be that person for someone who comes from the same background as me. And this team of girls were also diverse. Monique is African American. Tiana's African American. She's also Asian, and we're there's just a whole. We're all so diverse, and I think that's really important for all the little girls watching, and I think it's going to inspire them.
That's amazing. How has your own story, your own background inspired you as a performer?
I started acting because of Leia Salonga. I watched her audition for a Miss Saigon when I was little, and something about it just wanted me to do it. And I ended up going to an art school, and I fell completely in love with acting because of it. And I want to be that inspiration for someone else.
So what does it mean for you in terms of, you're a lead on a series and so many people are going to get to see it. The reach of Disney Plus is incredible. There's so many subscribers all around the world. Now we're sort of the calm before the storm. But when this series finally drops on the surface and that people are watching it, how excited are you about that? Are you nervous? How do you feel about it?
I'm really excited. I am a little nervous, but like this is my first TV show, and to be on a Disney platform for my first TV show, it's really exciting, and I'm I'm just really excited.
And lastly, I want to ask you, since this is a role that's going to be really exciting for people to see, what are some of the things that you haven't had a chance to do yet on camera that you'd like to? You have a long career ahead of you. What are some of the things you'd like to do?
I I've been joking to my friends about like doing writing and starring in like a indigenous Disney princess, Filipino warrior princess type of character, and the more that I think about it, I feel like that would be really impactful to watch. And I think I want to do that in the future.
Thank you so much. Such a
Yeah, thank you.
pleasure speaking with you.